So my sled, my tent, rain fly, snow fly, foyer fly, 2 ground cloths, Hudson Bay wool blanket, my Pendleton blanket. That's my snow trekker tents in there as well. Bait, minnows, Wanigan. It's a smaller version. It's got food, pots and pans, kitchen, etc., etc. This is my sleeping bag. 3/4 of this bag is that damn Wiggies. I got some change of clothes in there. I got slippers. I got my mucklucks. That's about it. But I can save a lot of space by getting a better bag. Then my stove. In my stove I have additional miscellaneous gear. I have my tackle, fishing tackle. I have 2 tip-ups. I have my folding shovel. And all my stove equipment. A pair of snowshoes. 4-inch ice auger. My top bag, I have my camp coat, gloves, hat, miscellaneous gear, camera, water, things like that, emergency stuff. Then I have my backpack on. In my backpack I have emergency stuff and food, as well as my my shotgun, my 6-shooter. I'm wearing my big skis. And I got a new addition on the front of the sled. So I'm about 1/4 of the way across the lake. There is some slush underneath a layer of ice. There's already been a couple snowmobiles that go by, so I'm sure that there's the 10 inches or so that has been stated that's up here. I left the house this morning. Temperature there was 35 degrees. I arrived here, it was 26 degrees Fahrenheit. And there's a selfie. I don't know how that'll turn out, but So it's about 4 o'clock and I'm all set. I got the fire going and water is on to boil. Vinyl doors all set. New stovepipe system, stovepipe anchoring system. Got it from my guy on snowtrekker.com. Thanks, Andy. And Nord, I know you didn't think of it yourself, but you posted pictures of it. Tomorrow I'm going to put on the fly for the week. Just too tired to do it tonight. We have a tip up right over there. Another one, you can't see it. Right over there. 2 tip ups out. My minnows died, but I put the minnows on anyways. And I'll be jigging here. So today's Saturday. Pretty busy on the lake. You can see a fishing hut down there, and that's where I've been seeing them. I saw them there last year. So I'll fish for a couple hours and head back to camp. I have a lot of hardwood. It's all maple. Yeah. I'm splitting more planks. Nice and thin, relatively thin. And I'm using them in the tent. The fly is up, tied down, sleds down. Spaghetti and meat sauce with meatballs, and I'm gonna toast this garlic bread. I'm gonna wrap it in aluminum foil and put it on the oven.
3 tiny holes in the lower right-hand corner of the plywood backing. It was less like a group than a loose association. Let's be smart about this, I told myself. I vowed to take things one step at a time. I brought the target in by half the distance, to 50 yards, and returned to the rifle. I unscrewed the elevation and windage caps, and rotated the bezel's 32 audible clicks in the up direction. Each click represents 1/4 of an inch, and then dialed 8 clicks left on the windage dial. That ought to bring me way up and toward the center of the target. I had a good additional reason for getting it right. A box of cartridges for my cute new gun goes for about $60.
Buckwheat pancakes with muesli mix and egg. Oscar's smoked breakfast sausage and some locally made maple syrup from a friend, co-worker.
Align themselves in bands and will likely be intense enough to drop 1 to several inches of snow per hour for several hours. Visibilities vary greatly and can drop to 0 within minutes. Travel is strongly discouraged. Commerce could be severely impacted. If you must travel, keep an extra flashlight, food, and water in your vehicle in case of an emergency.
So I'm packed up heading home, and I've decided to leave my tent up. I'll come back for a weekend in the next couple weeks. I think it'll fare well. Leave the stove in the tent. Plenty of wood. That's my flooring. But I'm going to leave it up with the fly. It'll shed snow just fine. My sled's already down at the lake. I've left it up for a couple weeks once before. Took the family out and the dog in this. In the first couple of years that I had it. I've had this for over 10 years now, this tent. We had 2 kids. They were 8 and 9, a black lab, and 2 adults. We spent the night. It got bitter cold. The kids weren't doing well. Either was the dog. So we booked out the next day, but we didn't take the tent down. I left it up for 2 weeks and went back and got it. It was fine. The amount of work that goes into setting up camp. doing this for a weekend is just not worth it, in my opinion, by age. But now that it's set up, I'll leave it, and I'm not worried about the lake thawing. There's 10 or 12 inches of ice out there now, and we're in a cold spell. So I'll be back in a couple weeks.